The Space Shuttle Challenger explosion was a tragedy watched by millions, with many schoolchildren tuning in to witness what was supposed to be a historic educational mission. Francis R. Scobie, the mission commander, was a highly experienced pilot and had served as a fighter pilot in the Air Force. Michael J. Smith was the pilot and had been an experienced Navy aviator. Mission specialists: Ronald McNair, a physicist and the second African-American astronaut; Ellison Onizuka, the first Asian American astronaut; and Judith Resnick, an engineer and the second American woman in space, added further inspiration to this crew. Payload specialist Gregory Jarvis and Krista McAuliffe, a school teacher selected for the Teacher in Space program, completed the team, making this mission especially meaningful to students. At exactly 11:39 a.m., just 73 seconds after launch, the Challenger exploded due to an O-ring failure in its right rocket booster.
1 minute 15 seconds, velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Exacerbated by unusually cold temperatures. The explosion, broadcast live, killed all 7 crew members instantly. Tommy Cooper was a beloved British comedian and magician known for his unique blend of slapstick humor and intentionally botched magic tricks. With his trademark fez, towering height, and clumsy charm, Cooper became one of Britain's most recognizable and adored entertainers, famous for his so-bad-it's-good comedic style. On April 15, 1984, Cooper was performing a live show on Live from Her Majesty's, a popular UK television program. Midway through his act, he suddenly clutched his chest and collapsed backward. Audiences initially laughed, thinking it was another one of Cooper's comic stunts. His assistant and stage crew, assuming the same, waited for him to recover. Tommy Cooper was later pronounced dead backstage. Known as the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt was an icon in the world of NASCAR. With 7 Winston Cup Series championships, he was celebrated for his fearless driving style and his intense commitment to racing. On the final lap of the 2001 Daytona 500, Earnhardt was involved in a multi-car collision. His car collided with Ken Schrader's and hit the wall at high speed.
The 3-car down. Oh, big trouble. Big wreck behind them.
Lead him back. Come on.
To the flag.
Come on, Mikey. You got it, man. You got it. You got it.
Although the crash initially seemed routine, fans soon learned the terrible news. Earnhardt had suffered fatal head injuries. Allison Parker, 24, was a dedicated reporter known for her passion for storytelling, while Adam Ward, 27, was a talented cameraman, beloved by his colleagues. Both were working for WDBJ-TV in Roanoke, Virginia, covering local news stories. During a live interview, Flanagan approached and opened fire on Parker and Ward, tragically killing both and injuring their interviewee, Vicki Gardner. The horrifying act was broadcast live, leaving viewers and colleagues in shock. Flanagan fled the scene and later took his own life after a police chase. Their shooter was a former employee of WDBJ-TV, Vesterly Flanagan II, who had been dismissed from the station 2 years earlier. Flanagan, who went by the on-air name Bryce Williams, had long-standing grievances against the station, and he later claimed he was seeking revenge for perceived slights, though there was no evidence of any mistreatment by Parker or Ward. Dimebag Daryl, born Daryl Lansbury, was a legendary guitarist best known for his work with the influential heavy metal band Pantera, which he formed alongside his brother, drummer Vinnie Paul. Pantera's aggressive and powerful sound, combined with Daryl's distinctive guitar work, made the band iconic within the metal community throughout the 1990s. Following Pantera's dissolution in 2003, Daryl and his brother formed a new band, Damage Plan, to continue pursuing their musical vision. On December 8, 2004, Damage Plan was performing at the Alrosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio. It was supposed to be a typical night of heavy metal music, filled with energy and adrenaline, but as the band began its set, a deeply unsettling event unfolded in front of the live audience. Nathan Gale, a fan with a troubled history, stormed the stage. According to some reports, Gale was angry about Pantera's breakup and blamed Daryl personally for the band's split. Tragically, he approached Daryl on stage and opened fire, killing him almost instantly. The horror of the scene sent shockwaves through the audience as people realized what was happening. Gale went on to shoot several others, resulting in the deaths of 3 more people and injuring 2 others before he was ultimately stopped by law enforcement. Andres Escobar was a respected Colombian soccer player known for his skill and sportsmanship. Nicknamed the Gentleman of Football, he played as a defender for Colombia's national team and was a beloved figure both on and off the field. At the time, Colombian soccer was emerging on the international scene, and the 1994 FIFA World Cup, held in the United States, was seen as a significant opportunity for Colombia to showcase its talent. Many Colombians were hopeful for a strong performance, especially given the political and social struggles the country was facing due to issues like cartel violence. On June 22, 1994, Colombia faced the United States in a critical World Cup match. During the game, Escobar accidentally scored an own goal while attempting to intercept a cross. His attempt to deflect the ball went wrong, and it ended up in Colombia's net, giving the U.S. team the lead. Colombia went on to lose the match 2-1, ultimately contributing to their early elimination from the tournament. For Escobar, a proud player with an immense sense of responsibility, the own goal was a heartbreaking moment, one that weighed heavily on him. Escobar returned to Colombia after the World Cup, facing significant criticism and backlash from fans and, reportedly, individuals with ties to the Colombian cartels who had lost money on bets favoring Colombia's success. Just days after his return, on July 2, 1994, Escobar was confronted by a group of men outside a nightclub in Medellin. Reports indicate that during a heated exchange, one of the men taunted him about the own goal before fatally shooting him. Witnesses said the shooter shouted, "Goal!" each time he fired, referencing Escobar's error on the field. The senseless killing shocked Colombia and the international soccer community. In the 1980s and 1990s, Las Vegas became known not only for its casinos and shows, but also for its grand animal acts. Exotic animals, including big cats like lions and tigers, were frequently part of the appeal, as entertainers performed alongside them in high-profile acts. Many Las Vegas performers would appear on local television shows to promote their acts, often bringing along animals to give viewers a taste of the spectacle. On October 2, 2003, trainers from Siegfried and Roy's famous Las Vegas show brought in one of their tigers to a local TV station as part of a promotional appearance. The tiger, a fully grown animal, was expected to sit calmly as the trainers discussed their act with the host. However, things took a turn when the tiger, seemingly agitated or uncomfortable in the confined studio space, became unpredictable. During the live broadcast, the tiger suddenly lunged at the host, clamping down on his arm and refusing to release. The shocking event unfolded live, with viewers watching as the trainers desperately tried to pull the tiger away from the host and regain control. The entire incident lasted only a few minutes, but it was enough to leave both the host and viewers visibly shaken. Fortunately, the host survived the attack, though he suffered injuries to his arm. Ibram Tates, often known as Imperator, the Emperor, is one of Turkey's most iconic and beloved singers. Rising from humble beginnings, he became a symbol of Turkey's cultural richness, blending traditional Turkish folk music with elements of pop, arabesque, and Kurdish influences. His powerful voice and unique style earned him an enormous fan base not only in Turkey, but across the Middle East and parts of Europe. In addition to his music, Tates was known for his television presence, often appearing as a host on variety shows that featured music, comedy, and interviews. By 2011, Ibram Tates had established himself as a multi-talented artist and businessman, involved in the restaurant and media industries. He was particularly active on his television show, İbo Show, a widely watched program in Turkey where he hosted musicians, actors, and other public figures. On the night of March 13, 2011, Ibram Tates was recording an episode of İbo Show. As always, the show featured live musical performances, conversations with celebrity guests, and Tates' charismatic interactions with his audience. Despite years in the industry, he remained at the peak of his career, consistently drawing high ratings and continuing to perform to sold-out audiences. The episode that night was no different, filled with Tates' characteristic energy and charm. There was no indication that anything out of the ordinary would happen afterward. And for many, this episode remains memorable for being the last time Tatlıssis appeared as his old self on Turkish television. Shortly after leaving the television studio in Istanbul, Tatlıssis was attacked by gunmen. While riding in his car with his spokeswoman Ayşegül Yıldız, he was ambushed, and a gunman opened fire on his vehicle with an assault rifle. Tatlıssis was struck in the head, a wound that placed him in critical condition and led to emergency surgery. The shocking news quickly spread throughout Turkey and the international community, leaving fans and fellow artists devastated. The motive behind the attack remains a topic of speculation. Some reports suggested that it was linked to business rivalries, though no conclusive explanation was publicly confirmed. The shooting left him with life-threatening injuries that required multiple surgeries and extensive rehabilitation. After years of therapy and recovery, Tatlıssis made sporadic returns to television and the music industry, although his performances have been limited by his physical condition.